Turning back now to the deadly shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Police say they have a person of interest in custody, but have not suggested a motive. The governor of Utah called the shooting a political assassination. The 31-year-old was a close ally of President Trump, and his nationwide campus debates called Prove Me Wrong made him a cultural lightning rod. His death is now raising questions about the rise of political violence. For tonight's interview, we are joined by Shannon Hiller, executive director of the Bridging Divides Initiative at Princeton University. Shannon, thank you so much. We have limited time. What was your reaction when you heard about this?
You know, I initially, unfortunately, not surprised, but a tragic event for any political figure. And unfortunately, also a lot of concern that this attack following right on the assassinations in Minnesota of Democratic lawmakers is likely to really significantly increase the risk of further conflict here in the U.S.
I'm going to get to solutions in a second, but before we get there, help us understand the context as you see it in terms of political violence in the country and kind of where we've been over the last period of time.
As I said, we really see that we're in a volatile and even dangerous moment. We track a number of different indicators around political violence in the U.S., and one of them is around local officials. Just this year, we've tracked 250 incidents of threats and harassment against local officials like mayors and others, and that's already a 9% increase on the year before. But what that's really coupled with is an increasing normalization of the idea of using threats, harassment, or violence against political opponents, affecting people across the political spectrum. And we're seeing that context worsening even as we look at these events today.
Right, and as you say, across the spectrum, because Charlie Kirk wasn't even an elected official. So help us understand what might work to get at this problem.
The very first thing we say is to reject violence and condemn these types of incidents. And we're seeing some promising statements from officials already on that front, but some concerning ones as well, where we're already pointing the finger without the full details. The second thing we say is that people, even in their immediate communities, can do a lot to push back on this dynamic as well. Rejecting the use of dehumanizing rhetoric about people just because of their political affiliation or who they are is something we can do from our positions, whether we're officials, researchers, or just neighbors. And I think that can sometimes seem like a squishy recommendation, but it's something that we should do regardless of our role.
30 seconds left. How much does the political system, when it feels clotted and not working, contribute to this sense of frustration that leads to violence?
I think it's one of a number of dynamics that are contributing to this dangerous moment. And so it's a reason we have to push on any lever we have to create ways for people to have agency and have ways to turn to other ways to resolve political differences than violence, regardless of party.
Shannon Hiller, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll be right back in a moment.